Hey my loves, let's get into it. Dion here, your Sin City medium, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, I can meet with you anywhere because we do it virtual, right? Had to throw my little plug in there. But listen, let's talk about it. So I had been getting a lot of questions about ayahuasca recently, right? And so I wanted to share my story because I knew before I went and took my journey, I had a lot of questions, and I felt like there were so many videos out there, and there's so many things that are wrong or make it seem like this negative experience, right? And it's different for everyone, yes, but there literally is nothing negative about ayahuasca, okay? I will say this, your girl is part of a little secret society, or that's how I got invited. So I try to connect with other people. I want to be around my tribe. So I had connected with this group of, they're also psychic here, very highly intuitive people, and I wanted to kind of explore my skills and like push them to the limit, right? So I met up with them, and then we started communicating through an app, and it is through them that I was able to have my ayahuasca journey, okay? So what they do is they bring in a shaman, they fly them out. You know what, how to get it here, I have no clue. I just know that the man shows up with all of the bells and whistles at the house. And it's like kind of a secret thing, right? Because I believe I don't think it's legal yet in Las Vegas. So, don't come get me. But anyways, we show up to the house, the shaman is there. He's got everything laid out, the rugs. You show up with your sleeping bag. Very, very comfortable environment, right? Because we're all there for the same thing. Everybody's like seeking a deeper meaning to life and purpose and things like that. So we get there with our sleeping bags. They have the little mini trash cans and tissues out for everybody. So that in itself, I think is like a little like, oh gosh, I don't want to be, throwing up in front of people and whatnot. Or if I see somebody else, what it smell like, it's just, you think all kinds of things. But the reality of it is, it was very comfortable, very calming. The music is going. It was a beautiful experience, but that is how it started. Okay, so let's talk about it. They offer you 3 different types of medicine. You have your rape, combo, and then the ayahuasca itself. So rape is the one that I did. He comes around, the shaman comes around, he sits down in front of you, and it's like you can't breathe through your mouth. So they make you take like a deep inhale, and he takes the tobacco and literally like blows it up your nostril here, right? Oh my gosh, this was the only part that was a bit uncomfortable. Let me explain. You know how you see fireworks, the ones that are just like long, that before they go pew, how they're like these like lasers in the sky? It literally felt like this whole hemisphere here, my brain, it like flew up, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was like he literally had to stand up, and he started like tapping my skull. It felt like to like help it spread, right? And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh. So now your girl, I cannot inhale because I got all this tobacco sitting here. So I'm like breathing through my mouth, trying to like calm myself because it was so intense, right? That it took me literally like 5 minutes before I was comfortable enough again for him to, it was fear, right? It already dissipated, but now I'm thinking like, oh damn, I didn't want to do that again. This nostril, right? I have to do the other side of my brain. So when I finally calmed down a few minutes later, he does it to the other side of my brain. It is not nearly as intense. But the rape is supposed to facilitate connection as well as clear your mind, right? Just kind of get you in the right state to be able to open up and receive it. It helps the process. When it comes to the combo, which I did not do, but my big bro did, so that is frog medicine that they scrape off the back of a particular frog, right? And that is the one that is supposed to basically like purge your whole system, as well as your, mind and spirit, right? Of like negativity and negative thoughts and whatnot. The thing with that is it's like little baby, like, it's like they take, I think, an incense and they burn you like your arm or something like that. So of course, this is my brother's second time doing this. So now he's talking about I wonder what kind of design I'm gonna use, He worried about his design, and I'm thinking, I just don't want to get burned. So I didn't do that one. But he enjoyed that experience. I do know that it does like swell your face for a few minutes. But then it does dissipate, right? Okay, so now comes time, and they space it apart. So like 6 p.m. it's combo, 7 p.m. that's the rapid, and then 8 p.m. everybody's taking their dosage of ayahuasca, right? So how did this go? When I went to go drink, you go to the shaman now, and you kneel on the rug, and it's like you say a prayer to Mama Aya and basically thank her for this experience that you're about to have, and you drink. Is it disgusting? No. What it was is it was very gritty. It had like a very earthy, clayey type of feel to it. It was kind of thick, reddish brown. Is what it was, right? I want to, it's really earthy type feel. I don't know if you've ever like had sand, but I don't know. I put sand in my mouth as a kid, and that's kind of what it felt like, except for it was sour with a hint of sugar is what it tasted like. So you drink it, and then you go back to your sleeping bag or your cot, your corner of the room, and you wait, right? Did I fall asleep? Yep. At one point, I think my brother told me that I was like snoring. I also took a friend with me. He's someone that he was open to the experience, but he wasn't expecting too much. I had told him like, no, come on, you gotta come with me. Apparently it's, years worth of therapy in a few hours, right? In an overnight session. And this was just a 24-hour session. So the night starts, the music is going, you're laying there, everybody's like in their own zone. And they do have, it's like the shaman and then 2 other people that were there. It's like two people per 4 people in the room is what it was, ratio wise. I fell asleep. I was in and out of sleep. I really didn't see too much. I was expecting to see more just because I am, really clairvoyant or hear something, but it wasn't too much. At one point, I do remember I kind of like woke up and I look over at my friend and I'm thinking like, damn, he's snoring loud. I'm thinking he just sleeps. And then I see him get up, right? And he's like a really big guy. Like we were in the military together. I love him. He's like a brother too. He gets up and he goes outside, but I look at him and he's like crying, right? And he's having this experience where the next morning he's telling us that he was able to see like the legacy of like the men in his family, and he had this whole experience. Clearly, as he's saying, she showed it to him in the sky though. So he goes outside and he sits by the fire, but rather, because they tell you, you go outside when you feel called. If you feel called, you sit in front of the fire, and then they have I think it was like sage and like other types of like plant material that you can offer into the fire, and Mama Aya will show you things as you look into the flame. In his experience, he went and he sat out there, but he felt called to the sky, and in doing so, he was able to see, that the legacy of like the family, the men in his family. Clearly, he had this beautiful experience. So let me tell y'all what I saw. Let's talk about it. So I'm here now. The one vision that I did get was like, I was on a road and it was like, I could see that it was a pathway, and on the other end was a woman, and I can tell it was a woman that was feminine. It felt like in a gown, like a white gown, dark hair. On the other side, mind you, she's not saying anything. It's like she's speaking to me telepathically, and I knew that I was supposed to go to her. So the path is there, but it's not necessarily clear. When you're like, it's like a wall here. So I could see her, but all this was kind of like taken up, like with matter. So it was almost open, but it was like just enough that I could see her. And I knew that I had a path to her. In my head, I'm like, damn, do I walk over there? Like, but I couldn't feel my feet. So it's like I could just walk over. It was like my mind was thinking like, okay, like, is she gonna come to me? Like, we're kind of just standing there. Well, a few hours into it, they say, okay, you guys are now open to take your second dose of the ayahuasca. So I'm sitting here like, oh man, like I've been on easy street, right? Because I'm over here sleeping, snoring, watching everybody else. I'm chilling. I just see this chick and she's looking at me. It's not a big deal, right? Like I'm not going through anything intense. So I go outside and I tell the woman that was hosting at her home, very sweet, and I say, girl, I just feel like I'm supposed to do something, but at the same time, like I'm scared, right? I'm kind of scared, I'm being honest. And she was like, well, in my experiences, she said, because she's done it many times, right? That she tells herself like, fuck it, I came to play. And I said, well, God damn it, so did I, right? So I take my behind in the house and I kneel before the shaman and I ask for my second dose. And I did it. Again, nothing. I might have fell back asleep, right? But this time I felt a little uncomfortable. If anything, I feel like it made me go to the bathroom. So yes, I was able to purge in that way. And my stomach was a little upset, and I remember throwing up, and it was like black, and that was a little intense for a short period of time, honestly. And that was it. I go home. I'm thinking, all right, well, that was pretty easy for me. I was actually a little bit jealous that like my friend got so much, because I was expecting it. But let me tell you what happens after that. So now the day is over, right? We ended with drinking some peppermint tea that's supposed to, calm the belly and stuff, light snacks. You're not eating heavy afterwards. Ooh, we get to the house now. I take my shower, and I just had that feeling of like after you have a stomach bug and you feel kind of like weak because you had thrown up and stuff. I just had that feeling. But I go in my room, obviously my altar is in there. My room is a very spiritual place for me. I get in there and y'all, somebody was with me. I could feel the energy just watching me. I knew they were with me. However, it didn't feel like when I feel energy. Obviously, I'm a medium, so I can feel, the energy of past loved ones. I can feel the energy of even deities, and that energy is very fast. So I'm used to, I can see the difference between them. I can feel it because it's like, when it's the deities, it's so fast, like it's a surge of energy, right? But this felt different. This was very watchful, and it was like, if it had a sound, it was like, it was like a heavy tone to the watch, if that makes any sense, right? So that happens for a few days, and I'm like, okay, what you want? Like, who are you? What's going on? But I knew it wasn't anything negative. I can tell you guys what that feels like in another video, but I knew it wasn't anything negative. So fast forward a couple days now, this does not leave me. And I keep thinking about this woman that was calling me. So I have a moment. I'm standing in front of my sink. Or was it the shower? No, I'm standing in front of the sink in my, thank you so much. I'm standing in front of the sink, and I feel it now, right? Because before it was just the watchfulness. Now I'm feeling the feel. So when energy comes around me, or I get confirmation, it's like this warm bubble bath of goosebumps is what it feels like when it's like a past loved one, right? Like of human energy. But this felt magnetized. And when I say magnetized, if this side of my body was Velcro and I went to pull something off, you can imagine like the pull, the energy next to me felt like a pull on my skin, almost like magnety or sticky in a sense is what it felt like. Also, it's very specific. It shows up on the left or right side of my body, not like all around me. So that makes me feel like as humans, we have large energy fields, but I don't think theirs are as large because I pick it up on one side or the other. So now I'm feeling them. I know that the energy is different. So that happens for a few days. They're watching me for a few days. Now they're around me, and I'm speaking out loud now. I talk a lot out loud to myself, right? If you can imagine that. And I'm like, no, are these ETs? Are ETs trying to contact me? It hits me, right? So as time goes on now, I'm starting to get like different messages. And I got one that was like, be still. I was telling my daughter, like, they're telling me like, be still, be still. But I knew that this was from ETs and not of a past human or my spirit guides. and everything. I'm hearing other people talk, and Be Still comes out, right? And I go to look up frequencies. I go to bed listening to frequencies. 963 is my favorite. So I'm looking for a frequency to listen to go to bed, to put on the YouTube on the TV. And they're always just titled with, oh, speak to God, connect to God, and then the frequency. This one had, in quotations, as I look at it, Be Still. And I said, oh, I'm on to something now, right? Because we know confirmation is confirmation. And before I know it, I'm starting to, like, Pleiadians is a big deal to me. I keep getting Pleiadian. I don't know anything about ETs. It wasn't something that I was looking into ever until after my ayahuasca experience. So now Pleiadians, for some reason, I'm being drawn to, like, look them up on the YouTube. And then we get into this light activation that becomes a thing. I keep coming across this light activation. So mind you, the days are passing where it's like, watch me, come next to me, I'm feeling them. Then it's like, I feel like they're speaking to me. So now I'm looking that up. And then I get into light codes, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm listening to these light codes. Man, let me tell you what happened. I'm laying in my bed and I'm trying to meditate. I'm like, okay, we gonna make contact, damn it, right? So, and we all know you're not supposed to meditate with an intention like that, right? You're not supposed to put pressure on it. Meditation is to lay there absent of thought, but open to receiving, right? So I lay there and I get frustrated because I'm like, dang, ain't nothing coming through, right? And I said, Pleiadians, where are you? Pleiadians, thinking I'm being like funny. I did it like out of frustration. Y'all, when I tell you something swooped into my room, if you could imagine me laying on a massage table and the massage therapist is behind my head and goes like this and reaches down to my elbows, right? That's what they did. And I felt that energy that I was talking about. They were like, oh, you want us? Oh, you want us? And it literally swooped in and just did me like that. And put me back down. And when they did it, and me thinking, no, I'm ready for contact. When they did it, I was like, oh, literally, like audibly. When he did it. And that was it. That's all they gave me. That's all they gave me. And it was gone just like that. And that's when I realized, like, okay, ayahuasca, I'm not crazy. Well, maybe a little, but you know, ayahuasca, the ETs, it just opened up this other dimension. It just opened up this other portal for me. So this is a journey that I'm on. I'm still on it. Super excited about it. Like, I ain't been on a spaceship yet. You know, Sprinkle beam me up, right? Like, it hasn't happened yet, but I know they're coming for me. Like, I feel it. I know there's something I'm supposed to be doing. So this continues to happen. I continue to meditate. I'm listening to these light activation codes. And for some reason, it's like I'm just so in love and so, you know, like obsessed and in love with what I'm hearing. And you guys, I cannot explain it. I've heard light activation code before, but I was not ready to receive it. I heard it and I was like, okay, like it's kind of weird, but okay. I believe in all of the things. Anything is possible, but it just was not for me, right? Y'all, I heard this activation code and I went to bed listening to it and I lay there in meditation and I began to cry. But it was a cry like watching a baby being born, or like, I don't know, somebody at a wedding. It was like a cry of like this deep love. And I kept getting origin story. And my clairvoyance is pretty sharp, right? But it's not all the time that your images are super clear, okay? But with them, when they show me something, now I'm getting like little clips of like universe. And it is clear like a movie, you know? As I'm listening to these codes and laying there. So this one night I decide, well, I'm going to bed. This is like the most recent. So I decide I'm going to bed. I don't have anything on. And I lay there, but I can hear my higher self speaking to me in light activation. And when I tell you, my heart just melted again with the origin story and home, right? And home. And I laid there and I just cried again, listening to it like it was the most beautiful symphony and whatnot, right? And I just so in love, just so in love. And so now I'm just waiting to see what happens next. And when was this ayahuasca journey? What is the time between here? It's been maybe a month now. So all this has happened in the course of a month, and I feel like bless them, they're so sweet. My Pleiadian ETs, because clearly they're trying to warm me up to contact, and even though I'm trying to push it and be aggressive about it, clearly I could not take it, right? Another confirmation that I got, I'll tell y'all this too. I had went to this like wellness retreat. A friend had invited me because she knows someone else that is highly clairaudient. I'm highly clairvoyant, she's highly clairaudient. So we decide, we're gonna meet for breakfast. and personality wise, we're so similar. We decide we're gonna meet for breakfast. We're sitting there and I'm telling her like, oh no girl, this is what I see for you, yada, yada, yada. And she says, well girl, I'm hearing Pleiadian, Star Mother. And I'm like, what? And they talking to her, they want me, right? So she's like, Pleiadian, Star Mother. And yeah, she gave me a frequency to listen to. So she's like, I don't know if it's like 582 or 852. She was like, but try that. And I thought, I've never done the 800s. Like, I'll look it up. And so that was further confirmation as well. Just a beautiful experience so far. So that was my journey when it comes to ayahuasca. It was beautiful. I do plan to do it again, hoping that I can dive even deeper, right? And clear some blockages, because we know healing is not linear. We go up and down based on experiences that we have in our life. But yeah, if you guys have got any questions about my ayahuasca journey, or if I left something out that you want to know, let me know down below.